June 18, 2025. I will never forget this day. The day when the beast Kizaru was first introduced to the One Piece Bounty Rush community. Based on the trailer, most players could immediately tell that he would be stupidly broken and unfair with those skills. But that trailer never prepared us properly for the beast that would be Kizaru. On release, Kizaru killed every single unit in the game on day 1 with 0 real counters. He was painfully unfair on release and had the whole Bounty Rush community running around and scrambling around searching for any possible counters, as Kizaru had everything from treasure area attacks to even a perfect dodge attack and teleport skills. To make it even worse, Kizaru was still straight up busted even without stacks. The player base was basically left to suffer. Until he arrived. The extreme legendary Gear 5 version 2. The player base was in joy as they were left to suffer with a painfully unfair and broken unit for 3 months and only had a mediocre defender Green Bull to bail them out. Seeing Gear 5 was like seeing a savior from the Bounty Rush community, making them even ignore the painfully broken skill set of Gear 5. Simply because anything was acceptable as long as it ended Kizaru. That day it seemed like everything was finally safe, but once more the Kizaru players rose from the ashes. They figured out that if they used their M1s and skill 2, they could still kill Gear 5, albeit with a bit of trouble. It wasn't hard and took 15 seconds at most. The one saving grace of the Bounty Rush community was taken overnight by Kizaru players who figured out how to kill Gear 5, and that caused Kizaru to slowly creep back his way into the meta. But even then, his peak was still in a struggle, but sadly that would all end when extreme legendary 5 Elders Saturn arrived. He killed the one unit that kept Kizaru in check and brought back Kizaru full force to kill Saturn. It was a complete bloodbath. Kizaru was fully back and he was slaughtering Saturns because Luffy had slowly dwindled from the meta. The whole player base was in shambles once more and prayed for another counter to arrive. After this case, Kizaru got at least 10 more units that were supposed to counter him, like Vegapunk, Kuma Bunny, and even Chopper. But they were all still easily killed by Kizaru if the Kizaru had enough skill. The players were at the verge of tears, begging for another Gear 5 type unit. And that's when extreme legendary Blackbeard arrived. They thought, me included, that Blackbeard would hard counter Kizaru based on his traits. And we were all happy to see how it would work out. But lo and behold, after the update dropped, Kizaru was still busted. The only thing Blackbeard ended up actually contributing was to make the Kizaru players adapt a different playstyle of hit and run, which would cause Blackbeard to still easily die if he failed to trigger the counter, as Kizaru would just drop on his head or just golden shower him on his flag. The player base was once again left in tears. Fortunately, EX Whitebeard ended up getting buffed, which crippled Kizaru a little bit. But even that didn't last very long because Van Augur would soon arrive. Van Augur deleted Gear 5, Blackbeard, and even Whitebeard, making Kizaru return once more. Another Kizaru upscale, sadly. But that's about it for this info dump. I hope you all enjoyed. And to close, if Bandai staff sees this video, I'd like to ask on behalf of the whole Bounty Rush community, to please never make another unit like Kizaru ever again. Because how do you manage to make a unit so busted that no matter how many traits you give a unit, they still end up being his victim? The only units that were able to even somewhat match Kizaru were two defenders, Green Bull and Zephyr, and maybe Whitebeard, but even then Kizaru still found a way by just avoiding them to slaughter their teammates.